Where Have You Been? A song where Jay-Z is talking about his dad, who we know wasn't in his life. And as Andy is always on theme, we're going to get into the dropped lawsuit. It's been on everybody's mind and conversation. People were saying, why doesn't Jay-Z just take the DNA test? Well, we're going to get into some details that have happened with that lawsuit. Okay. We're doing DNA without the swab as we get into the details. Let's get into Jay-Z's alleged son, Rymir Satterthwaite, dropping his lawsuit after 10 years and various jurisdictions of trying to get this situation handled, right? It is a paternity drama that has been lingering on and on. It may finally be over, right? Rymir has officially dropped his lawsuit against Jay-Z. We know that on the 18th, Jay-Z submitted documents to the lawsuit filed by Rymir this May, where his lawyers basically said that this issue has been proven not to be relevant for years in many different courts. This is harassment. It's in the wrong jurisdiction, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was 40 pages. And now today, well, yesterday, actually, he's dropped the lawsuit. In it, of course, it claimed that Jay-Z fathered him in 1992 after a brief relationship with his mother, Wanda. Wanda passed away, I believe, in 2017. So part of the issue, many felt, was Wanda was allegedly 16 at the time. Jay-Z would have been 22. In 2010, a paternity request was made for Jay-Z and another man, his father, who signed the birth certificate, who was Wanda's husband. I guess they were going through a breakup. Robert Graves as possible fathers. Graves took the test and was ruled out. Jay-Z never took one. Rymir filed these suits in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and even in federal court. They were tossed, like I said, based on jurisdiction, statute of limitations, etc. Right? So now the latest lawsuit has been dismissed. Jay-Z's team cited harassment, contempt rulings, et cetera, and now they have withdrawn the case. It should be noted that while everyone kept saying for this particular case, Jay should just take the test, there was no DNA test requested at this point in time. Jay wouldn't have been compelled to respond to that because it wasn't a minor child. There's no back child support that was available to him. He was suing Jay-Z for what he was saying was emotional distress, et cetera, et cetera. Now, of course, there is a segment of the population that is saying, Jay-Z paid him off. You can't tell me different. Why wait 30 years and now drop it? That's why I don't believe y'all when money gets involved. So here's the thing. Jay-Z doesn't win no matter what. If he had taken the test in theory and was not the father, people would have said he paid someone to change it or something of that nature. With this, if Rymir did snatch it back on his own, as there's been, as the case is once again rearing up, there's been more involvement, more commentary. Some are speculating that maybe his real father appeared, or that there is other information that has come to him, or he just realized it was unwinnable, or he ran out of money. All of these things are speculative, right? But what is clear is that he has withdrawn it. We may never know the truth, but the legacy debates are back in full swing. And again, this was something that no matter what resolution happened, Jay-Z's not going to win with a certain segment of people. So I don't know. It's always been complicated, not just legally, but emotionally, if Rymir is truthfully searching for his father, right? But what does it mean to search for truth when it involves powerful individuals? And what does it mean when people sometimes target powerful individuals? I've talked about a case with actor William Shatner. He was the star of Star Trek. And there was a man that for years said he was his son, wrote a book, appeared at different places, did interviews, and William Shatner never did the DNA test. At some point, it was discovered, or maybe the man spoke out and said that he knew William wasn't his father, or it was disproved without William involving his own personal DNA, and that the man was just doing it for attention. There was also a case with Michael Jordan where a woman said the same thing. that her son was his son. She had some type of interaction with him. There were several pictures, but Jordan never submitted his test. So both things could be true depending upon the individuals and the scenario. But people are invested. They're ready to take Jigga down. So I don't know. In the chat, DJ Black 909 says, according to Pop Fusion, Rymir plans to refile a civil lawsuit against Jay-Z, but not for a paternity test. Well, this one didn't ask for a paternity test either. He can't ask for one anyway because Rymir is 31, 32 years old. So also from DJ Black 909, like before, he'll be seeking money instead. Now people are questioning his true intention. Is it after the truth about his father or just chasing a payday? I mean, it's hard to say, again, on both sides. But I do think that the expectation that Jay should have just jumped in with his DNA to end the harassment is kind of crazy, because then, as we see from the Diddy trial, the floodgates will be open. Nobody has time for that. So I don't know. Andy, you look like you had something to add.
No, I was just going to say, any lawsuit, going towards any, person of power, it's always going to look like a money grab, even if, whatever they're alleging is true.
I mean, that is true, but I do believe that there are valid reasons, pain and suffering, for people to get paid. That is what the lawsuit is from. But I also believe that some people are like, let me hit this lick. Let me make this play. And unfortunately, if you don't know the details, the context, how can you make a real conclusion? So if Rymir is really seeking to know whom his father is and he's looking for peace, I hope he gets that somehow. But if he's just looking up for a come up, I don't know.
I hope he didn't think that he was going to win from a financial standpoint.
Maybe he just, here's the thing. We know with a lot of civil lawsuits, people get paid off. So maybe the idea wasn't to actually go to court and win, but to get a settlement. It's like Cassie asked for 30 million. She got 20, right? We know that initially Diddy offered her 8 million. He should have at least started at 15, half. He probably could have avoided all this, but he didn't. So I do understand the concept of I can't get back the time, the emotional energy spent or whatever for a suit. So you're going to pay me in what you value. But I do recognize as well, people want a quick lick.
And even if we did find out that this was, Jay-Z was the father, is Jay-Z in his life now? Are they hanging out? You know what I mean? What if Jay-Z doesn't want to have anything to do with him? You know what I mean?
Like Anthony Edwards.
Just saying. How do you feel at that point, son?
Right. Apparently he doesn't. Listen, Fahima in the chat says, do you think there may have been a private settlement with an NDA? I don't. Just because of how publicly Jay has been fighting this situation for years. I don't think so. I also want people to recognize that people like Jay-Z and Beyonce, I'm throwing her in there because she's his wife, not that this applies to her, keep lawyers on retainer. So it's not an added cost per se to have a lawyer defend, file on their behalf, et cetera, et cetera. Forrest Harrison mentioned that a woman claimed to be Bill Cosby's daughter for years, and it was proven that she wasn't. I remember that case as well. So you just never know, right?